it's given me a more robust and comprehensive view of what our political landscape really looks like. Not everyone on the right, is holding tiki torches and marching while saying the Jews will not replace us in Charleston. Okay, that's not indicative of all Trump supporters.
See, right there, dude. Look at that. And she's laughing about it. She says, not everyone on the right is carrying tiki torches and screaming, Jews will not replace us. But not everyone on the right is that. But all of those guys that are on the right. That's a problem. So you're saying not everyone on the right are the tiki torch guys. And so therefore the right's actually got some good to it. But like none of those people are on the left. And she's got nothing but animosity towards the left. So how is it that she forgives the party that makes a home for this tiki torch guys? And they're cool with that. It's like not all Trump supporters are that, but the ones who aren't like that are willing to lock arms with those motherfuckers in support of Trump. And that's okay with Anna. That's like no loss of integrity there. But the left-wingers who don't have anything like that, they're like out of pocket. Like, okay, explain how that works. Because I'm sorry, guys, but when I look at a political party, I look at like, where are the racist fucking degenerate assholes? What party are they in? And whatever party they're in, I am automatically the other party, man. But that's crazy. She's really saying, hey, man, they're not all like rabid fucking tiki torch carrying anti-Semitic racists. They're not all of them, just part of the parties. Just only some of Trump's supporters are like that. So therefore, I have this whole new respect for Trump, and they're laughing about it. They're like charmed, like they're not even remotely concerned that those tiki torch carrying anti-Semitic, like racist shitbags are in their fucking party. They're absolutely saying, oh, like you guys aren't nearly as bad as everyone says, because only some of you are in the KKK. But those leftists, like, oh, they're just mean.
So did you have any internal struggle on coming out as forcefully as you have with some of the problems of the Democratic Party? Or was it never a question for you like, no, I'm just going to say what I feel?
In the beginning, of course, there's a lot of fear. You know what's coming. I expected a lot of the backlash I'm getting to happen. But to be honest with you, it's actually been a lot worse than I expected. And so I'm going through it right now.
I think we need to make it even worse, dude. I really do. I think we need to bury Cenk and Anna, and it's like full MAGA. All right, you guys, you may as well grab a fucking tiki torch, motherfuckers, because we're gonna board up the left-wing shack and give you guys the fucking boot. That's what I think.
I
is
don't
what she's
buy
saying.
Into some of the criminal justice reform narratives that we heard following the protests and riots of 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out that a lot of these policies...
The protests and riots of 2020. She's still talking about 4 years ago. Hey, tell you what, Anna, I live in Portland, right? Which was the epicenter of the protests and riots in 2020. Okay? I actually was there with my kid and my girlfriend. We locked arms with the wall of moms, pushing the cops back at that federal building. But this idea that, oh, shit, riots, right? Protests. I mean, all of that, though, was like, what were they protesting? They were protesting the cops killing a black man, right? Derek Chauvin putting his leg on the neck of a black man. Well, guess what, Anna? What just happened? Here we are. You're complaining about the protests from 2020 that are over. But guess what? The thing that caused the protests, an unarmed black man being murdered by a fucking law enforcement officer? Well, guess what just happened last motherfucking week? Another unarmed black man in handcuffs got savagely beat to death by a group of fucking police officers. But you're mad about the protests. You're mad about the burning buildings, but you're not mad that the thing keeps happening. That's fucked up that you're still crying about a few broken windows from 4 years ago, but goddamn if the unarmed black men aren't still getting fucking murdered. Like, bro, what are we even talking about? That shit is some bullshit, bro.
We have to recalibrate. I mean, I think this past election was just a major data set proving that what I'm saying here is correct.
Dude, this last election, more people voted for not Trump than Trump, and he won by 1.4%. I mean, dude, why do they keep acting like this? You know, the Republicans win the popular vote once in 30 years, and they act like they won 20 Super Bowls in a row. It's like, what are you talking about?
Other left-wing content creators who have seen this as an opportunity to essentially cut corners and steal a portion of our audience by feeding into this narrative and making it bigger than it really is.
Oh, do you see that? Oh, shit. Dude, yeah, she's mad at like people that are stealing TYT's audience. She's like, oh, some of the left-wing content creators are manipulating the fact that I'm doing shows only with right-wing people, and now they're stealing our audience. Yeah, good. We're all going to steal your audience because you don't fucking deserve it, Anna. Trump barely won. Dude, he didn't even win the majority of the votes. If Kamala didn't have, you know, some people who decided they weren't going to show up for her, people like Anna Kasparian here, her own party who voted against her because they were mad about Dick Cheney, Trump wouldn't have even won, bro. Like, what the are we talking about here?
The people they hear from the most are the activists who show up to these government functions and these city council meetings. You know, Mayor London Breed of San Francisco, who just lost her re-election bid, I remember when she started to get a little tough on cracking down on open air drug markets and things like that. As she was giving an outdoor press conference, one of these activists literally hurled a brick at her. Yeah. I mean, they're under threat if they dare to deviate even a little bit.
But see, again, though, anybody who would hurl a brick at London Breed, that's a mentally unstable person. That is not a left-wing activist. Like, come on. Like, oh my God, somebody hurled a brick, so therefore all the left-wing activists are bad. Yes, the sample size of one, she was just like, not everybody in the Republican Party, not all Trump supporters are chanting, Jews will not replace us. But she's like, one left-wing activist threw a brick. I'm fucking done with those motherfuckers. Now, guys, in this one instance, I had to follow up after the show specifically about this brick incident with London Breed in San Francisco, because this really illustrates how far Anna Kasparian will go to distort the truth in order to do this right-wing hand jive thing that she's doing. So first off, I'm going to throw some graphics here up on the screen about this story. A woman who threw a brick in the direction of city officials was arrested. And in fact, that brick wasn't thrown at London Breed. It was a group of people that came to see this press conference. Some of them were protesters. And this woman had been living in a homeless shelter. She was having bouts of mental illness. Her mother said that she struggled with bipolar disorder. So here again, it was not a left-wing activist. And it wasn't even a prominent left-wing voice. It was just an unhoused person grappling with some mental illness. But Anna presents it as though this is the left-wing activist way. She's so disingenuous.
We need police, okay? We need police who are better trained. We also need a prison system that actually rehabilitates people.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm totally in favor of prison reform.
Yeah.
But what I woke up...
you know what we do need, though, Anna, is we need cops to stop beating the shit out of black men and murdering them. Can we add that to the menu? Or like, goddamn, if we did that, maybe the riots would stop, right? The riots or the protests, right?
In recent years is a lot of these activists aren't about reforming the system so it rehabilitates people, so we lessen the chances of recidivism. They really just want to abolish the system overall, meaning do away with the prisons, do away with the police.
I don't necessarily know that they want to abolish the police. I think they want to do a complete reform, But like nobody wants to just go back to the fucking Wild West. Even defunding the police wasn't even about eradicating the cops. It was very simple and easy to understand. It was to reduce funding in the police and use some of that funding for mental health care, for social services. When a crime has been committed and the victims are there, let's send some people that can tend to the victims and maybe not send 7 jugheads with there so they can stomp all over the victims, not be helpful to them at all, and maybe shoot an innocent person because they're all amped up.
But just the number of police retiring early or the failure to recruit new police officers as a result of the job being less desirable as a result of those protests, that police shortage has had devastating ramifications, locally speaking. And so we should learn from that and move forward in a way that makes sense, that actually values public safety, but also understands that there are instances where police can go too far. So what can we do to mitigate that?
Yeah, what can we do? Well, guess what, Anna? You like that Trump guy. You said Trump is not bad. We got to remain open to the Trumpies, but you just said it's really important to you to mitigate the abuses coming from police. But you seem to support the guy who wants to give all police complete and total immunity so they could do this Robert Brooks shit any day of the week. They could do this every day. They could handcuff a black guy and beat him to death. They could handcuff you, 𝗪cie Kasparian, a woman, and take you in the back of the police car and run a fucking train on you. And then Trump would be like, well, they were on duty. Immunity. Sorry, Anna. Right? Hope you enjoyed them. Hello.
Trump flipped 10 blue counties to red counties in California alone.
Why didn't you vote for Harris?
Well, I think that Kamala Harris, I have a lot of issues with Kamala Harris.
Dude, she didn't vote for Kamala Harris, bro. Think about that. And look at her face, dude. But let's just analyze that right there. This is the most important election of her lifetime, without a doubt. We've already lost women's rights. There have already been threats about, deportations. There have been threats about, overturning gay rights. There's been talk of letting the states go after interracial marriage. Project 2025. There's 𝗙ście Patel maybe leading the FBI and going after and prosecuting everybody that Donald Trump doesn't like. We're talking insane shit. But so in the most important election of her entire fucking life, she didn't vote for the Democratic candidate. Even if you hate Kamala Harris, clearly, having a Democratic presidential administration would be better for America and the world than a Trump one. It could be any Democrat. There'd be a guarantee to have more empathetic people. There'd be a guarantee that the Department of Education and the EPA don't get shuttered. There'd be a guarantee that 25 states don't cram the Bible up the asses in public schools. And she decided to not vote for the left-wing side. Her personal grievance. I don't care. No matter who the left-wing candidate is going against Trump, you would not vote for Trump or contribute to Trump winning. But she didn't do it, bro. She didn't vote for the Democrats. Dude, that is such a betrayal. This is the woman who's the head of, the supposed progressive news channel. And she's saying, you know what? We're going to let Trump win. Good job. Nice work. That's real good, Anna.
I was like, this is not someone who shares my values. So why would I vote for her? I get that the, thinking is, well, she's a Democrat, so you're supposed to vote for the Democrat. No, I'm not supposed to.
No, the thinking is that Trump is dangerous and he's going to gut some very important shit. And you're okay with that?
Vote for the Democrat. I'm not going to cast my ballot for someone who has failed to make a case for herself. And Look, it really bothered me that she was anointed, that she was running a campaign, especially in the second half of her campaign, focusing on Donald Trump's alleged fascism and how he doesn't value democracy. And it's like,
alleged, right? I mean, all right, let's look at his first time around. Acting secretaries, leaving vacancies open, Schedule F, so he could just fire people and break the union. What else did he want to do? He wanted to send the military in on protesters, threatening to pull broadcast licenses. Like, what the fuck is she talking about, man? It's like insulting listening to this woman. Like, my God, the gaslighting, bro. Get out of here.
Do you think Democrats value democracy? Because in 2016, during the primaries, we all saw what the DNC did to Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, but again, though, Bernie Sanders didn't have a chance because black people weren't going to vote for him. And that's one thing that these motherfuckers will not acknowledge. Let's just take a moment here and let's look at these Democratic primaries in 2016. And let's go look at a fucking state. All right, the Georgia primary. Look at the popular vote in Georgia. 71% to Hillary, 28% to Bernie. Why? Because people of color didn't fucking like Bernie. Let's go look at South Carolina. 73% Hillary, 26 Bernie. Why? Because people of color didn't fucking like Bernie and they weren't going to vote for Bernie. Okay, look at this. Mississippi, oh my God, 82-16. Why? Because people of color didn't fucking like Bernie. All right, let's go look at Iowa where there's white people. Oh, where it's all white people, it's like 50-50. Okay, where it's all white people and they're more conservative, but they're white, right? Oh shit, now Bernie's even winning. You see how Bernie like basically won all the Trump states? He did win Oregon though. They liked him in Oregon because we liked his policy. But you notice how most of the Republican states went for Bernie when he was up against Hillary, but all of the states that had any minority presence whatsoever, just about every single one of them went for Hillary in a huge fashion. That was the Bernie problem. Like, you can get mad at the superdelegates and you can get mad at the Democratic Party and all that shit, but ultimately, this is the fucking problem. Bernie's problem was the fact that people of color didn't buy into his shit because he was selling white rural populism. If Bernie had run as a Republican, I bet he wins as a Republican and maybe even moves the Republican Party a little bit to the left. That was Bernie's deal, man. People of color weren't going to vote for the man. She's still crying about it.
That's not very democratic, if you ask me. And anointing the Democratic...
But they say anointing. She's like, she's still personal grievance. She's mad that Bernie didn't win and the black people wouldn't vote for Bernie. And guess what? I don't think she likes black people, actually. I think that's why she didn't vote for Kamala Harris, right? Because Kamala Harris is black and black people won't vote for Bernie. So maybe she's going to get on Fox News. Dude, this shit is gold, bro. See, here's the thing that I don't get about these guys, about Anna and Cenk. And I think this is an honest sort of critique. The thing that I don't like about them, they continually talk about, you know, having this open mind and how we shouldn't just ignore everybody. But if you watch them talk, though, it's in their demeanor. When they talk about AOC, when they talk about left-wingers, when they talk about the Democrats, they are filled with like a vehement animosity. They're just so filled with like anger and resentment, and it's palpable. The negative feelings they have are palpable. But when they talk about the right-wingers, they don't have that. They don't have the same negativity. And to me, that's the thing that is sort of really telling. It's that vitriol that they have for their own party that blows apart the way they try to delicately dance around this idea of like, oh, we're not capitulating to the right. We're just trying to have an open mind. But you can see it. in their animosity. They are more friendly and more entranced and more openly, emotionally available to the right wingers than they are to the people in their own party. And that says it all.